Hello world, I'm Farsight, and welcome back to Techtonica. Okay, we're ready to start automating. You can see that we still have the same tasks on the left. And if I start my inventory, you can see we've got some of the various things we need to build. We may not have enough belts, but we've got some of that. So, anticipating that we might not have enough belts, I'm going to build another 100. Each right click builds 5 reps of the recipe. The recipe, it builds 5, so it's 25 per, so 4 clicks, 100 belts. And there's another 100 belts. I'm hoping that 40 inserters and 5 long inserters is enough. So, how am I going to do this? Well, what I want to do is deliver fuel to both of these machines, repeat it downward, and move ore from this machine to this machine, and then move my output out. So this guy produces 25 ore per minute.
Task inbound. Inserter. Use inserters to transfer items between machines and conveyor belts.
These inserters only move 20 per minute, so one inserter will not keep up with the miner. So I need 2 of them. We're gonna just put those in right like that. We also need to put fuel in to the side doors here. Now, out the front, we have the ability to use long inserters. We could do long inserters for output and short inserters for input, or the other way around. We could do long inserters for input of the fuel and short inserters for output of the output. And I'm going to do it that way because if we have any kind of upgrade at all in the capabilities of the furnace turns out about half of its input. It can handle 30 to 15, so it can output 15 already. If we get any kind of an upgrade, that's going to be crazy. So we'll go with the short inserters. Also, I know that as the game progresses, we get short inserters that do more. So, output like that. And our fuel, as I get better and better fuel, each individual fuel lasts longer. So, this guy will do less and less as things go by. The other thing is, even though in this game you can cross belts very easily, I'll show you. I've got a belt here, and I've got a belt coming crosswise. Boom, we just go right over it. It's not too bad. Even so, I like to keep things relatively simple. So, how am I going to do this so we get fuel, we get the output coming close, and for now I'm just going to start it here and run it right out like this. Here's where our output's going to come out. And our input of fuel, that would provide to the front. Easiest way to provide to the back, we want to go up and over. We could either go up and over for each one, or I could bring this around and go above here. And that's the way I want to do it. Now, I do need to put some belts in the middle here. In fact, let's lay out the lower part of it. See, there's not enough room for us to come from up high.
Mining drills and smelters won't make your life that much easier if you're manually running ore from one to the other. Try some conveyor belts and inserters.
Show you in a moment. Okay, so if we have our fuel coming across the top, I want to generally think in terms of layouts that expand. I can't bring the belt off the right here and down. There's just not enough room, so I have to bring it off the left. And we could bring it off either here or here. I like doing it from here. Oops. Gives me a nice look to it. just like that. And now we just need to bring in our fuel input like that. Come on. Turn it and bring it in there. So our fuel will feed the smelters first, which is good because if we start running out of fuel, I want the smelters to have their fill. Well, okay, so it's not going to work like I thought. Eventually, this fuel will completely back up. And when we have no more fuel coming in, our smelters are going to run out of fuel. Okay, well, if we wanted to deal with that, we'd have to first bring it back and feed these guys and then have an on-belt, extra fuel on belt feeding here. Not going to worry about that. I kind of like the way this lays out. Even though I got it backwards, that's all right. So all of that extra, oops. You're standing on top of something, you hit R, it will rotate it. So all of this extra curlicues is so I don't have to take from over there, take it out, turn it, bring it back and over and in. What would it look like if I did that? Well, I couldn't bring it out from here. I think. I can. So in theory, I could do it this way. I could bring that over and in. I really don't like what that does out front here. In other words, I like the squirrelies, leave my squirrelies alone. And this gets me inputs and outputs coming from that direction, which is kind of what I want to do. Eventually, what I want to do is have my inputs and outputs all be in boxes that are like over at the corner of the building. Well, let's see if we can do that. I put it over to here. Put the box like that. There we go. So here's where all of my iron is going to be placed as it comes off. Now with the fuel, it's going to be interesting because I'm going to want to take the fuel over there as well. So I want to put this fuel box kind of on the same distance here. Do need to put it like that.
This is a great little factory breaker. If you took it all apart, you'd have most of what you need to deposit into the production terminal for the objective. Or you could keep your factory and build a whole new set of belts, inserters, and containers just for dumping into the PT.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
And that's what I'm doing too. So the one thing I didn't do is I didn't leave space for a box for copper, and I would like to put them all together here. So I'm going to say this box is for copper. That, and then next to it, can I do that? Yes, I can. There's the box for iron. There we go. So now we'll need to have this guy joined up to the output of him. actually, let's bring it further to the right. That, and actually, I'm not really sure where these are going to come out. Let's build this first. Okay. So all I know is I want my inputs to come from there and my outputs to go out to there. So first of all is the inserters. I think I can bring it in here and around out that way. Okay. Do the tricky bits first. Now, in this case, I could go all the way out at high and swirl around and down, but I don't want to fiddle too much. Already fiddling a lot. It's going to look a little different. That's okay. So, outputs here. Like that. And the input's going to come in. And out and around like that. There we go. And here are our final two inserters. We still have 4 normal inserters that we haven't placed yet. And those should be one of the boxes. Or did I count wrong? Oh, I counted as if I was going to do 4 for him, 4 for him, 4 and 4. Oh, I made extra inserters. How about that? So fuel comes in, we feed the smelter, we feed the smelter, we go up here, we split, we feed the miner, we feed the miner. On this one, I could have brought my input in on the right, fed the miners, and then curled around to feed the smelters, but yeah, nah. If I bring my output directly over, it comes in there. I'm going to want to bring it over too. Just like that. And I think we can just bring this one over next to it. Like that. So now I have one box where we put all of our fuel, and it will use inserters to place it both directions. I think I've double checked everything, so let's put in, say, 5 stacks of fuel, 10 stacks of fuel. And let's make sure everything gets to be running. I want to make sure that this whole thing is working before I go on to the next task. So our smelters are grabbing fuel even though they don't need it yet. And this miner gets his fuel. And then this miner gets some fuel. So from this point, half the fuel will go to the first miner, a quarter to the second, and a quarter to the third. So it will take a while for the fuel to back up. now they're all running. And I'm seeing iron bars come out of all the smelters. Yay! And if you just glance at these belts, you can see kind of the ratio between fuel and iron. Of course, that won't be meaningful until it's backed up. And the other direction. This smelter's running. This smelter's running. Cool. So now, all we need to do is deliver our plant matter here, or whatever fuel. When we want to change fuels, we just put the new fuel in here, and it will be delivered. We can grab our ingots from these guys. And now we can make what we need. So I need 2 containers. I've got one, so let's make a second one. I need 4 inserters, which we have. We need 45 conveyor belts. We've got double that. And we need 30 each of these things. So we are ready to go. I am going to do the turn in. And we'll go and see what's next. It's tempting to call it an episode here, but we're barely started. Upgrade terminal. Whee! Fully upgraded. New technologies available.
Beacons are back online. Inspect the radio console right next to the screen. It'll start beeping and blinking in 3, 2, 1.
Signal triangulated. New location added to HUD. Live sign.
Access to all local facilities should be restored, including the one I've been stuck in this entire time. I've sent an unlock code to the door.
Okay,
I've got some tech you're gonna like. And I know you wouldn't dream of leaving without me anyways.
So there's not only a big exclamation point here, but on the far upper right, you'll notice my bar that has the north, south, east, west, my compass bar. It's a big square, and I think it's got, yes, in very small print, it says the distance to it. I think. It's very hard to read. I don't know, maybe if I was recording this in 4K, because it might be able to show it. So this is a life sign in a place where Sparks apparently has been holed up.
Sending that signal was more complicated than you think. I don't know why, but these computers feel like second nature now. Sort of the opposite of what I remember it being like. I'd be the one to get you out of a situation like this, instead of the other way around. But I'm not giving up. That's how I know it's still me in here. You'll see.
Okay, so another thing I want to bring up here. This is a map. It's an echo sketch map. So it does a sketch of your surroundings based on an echo. Give it a sonar. So we've got some different colors. Should have brought this up back at the main area. We've got white showing iron. We've got red showing copper. We've got green showing stuff that's been placed. Blue is, here's our river. That's kind of where we started over there. There's actually the little factory behind it we can see. But where we are right now, we're headed back into this area back here. That's where the exclamation point took us. But between here and there, we've got some little square boxes, so there's boxes to loot. One of them's right here. I can see it. I can't get to it. Don't obsess over them. Just note where they are. The other one was kind of the same level as I was. There it is, right there. But I could see a way to get to it, so let's go get it. I'm noticing that there's some holes that go down back there. That's good because there's two boxes back on that corner as well. Okay, so back this way. Down and to the left, there we go. There's a box. There's two more out this way, kind of at the other end of the room. I think they didn't pack these crates in tight. We're picking up all sorts of neat things like fast inserters and crank generators. The other one's out this way. So if I jump up on top of here, I can make the jump.
These construction pieces, they're made from a special kind of building material. I can't remember where they came from, but I feel like we'll find more eventually.
This is the kaolinite beams. Kaolinite was expanded greatly in the most recent upgrade, the 0.2.1 release, called Concrete Everywhere. There's base building parts, and it used to be that all the parts were like, concrete with rebar and metal frames and such. And they did a little spin of the crank to give us versions that were just pure concrete. Difference is that aesthetic. I'm not one for building really fancy looking bases, so it doesn't really matter too much to me. I'm perfectly happy with things hanging out there in midair as long as they function. So,
Casualties detected.
Inspect the Lagoing Cube and rendezvous with Sparks. If that's Sparks, we're in trouble. Okay, let's grab the box first. Picking up a glowing cube. Oh boy.
What? You've never seen someone stuck inside an alien cube next to their own dead body before? Whatever I was trying to do here, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it didn't work out. Hopefully, it was worth a shot. Let's go.
Well, I'm going to take a wilder guess, and I'm going to say that maybe it worked out precisely. I mean, you're sitting there in front of a control system, in front of these special arms, with the cube out in front of it like it was doing something to it. I think maybe you put yourself in this cube. Interestingly, as I've picked up things that's been putting on my hotbar, that includes a cube with Sparks in it.
Stop. Scan the fragment in that cage by the stairs before we go. We'll need that tech to get out of the sector.
Okay, loot the cube. It's got some science cores in it. That's good. Gotta scan this. The mole fragment. So scan complete. The mole tech is available. And we got an upgrade for conveyor belt Mark II. Cool. So we'll have faster conveyor belts, no doubt.
Local signal deciphered. Sector headquarters. Report to production terminal radio for triangulation.
Sounds like the terminal is fully rebooted. Check the radio console again and see if the beacon it adds to your HUD gives us a clear path home.
Sector headquarters, he said. Good. Need to find more people. We need to get home. Because clearly, it's been a long time since this expedition started. Still running? Still running, and our fuel has backed up. Good. So we could sit here and watch one spot and measure how much fuel goes by to the left versus how many ingots go by to the right, if we wanted to. And that would give us our conversion ratios. Or we could just dump a whole bunch of fuel in and take a whole bunch of ingots out. Oh, boom.
Signal triangulated. New location added to HUD. Production terminal Victor.
Breaker, this is the time to activate the mole in your tech tree and build one. We won't be able to cut through to Sector Victor without it.
Okay, so we have unlocked this row. The mole takes 3. Synthesis, we've got all of this. It's going to be a bunch. 4 more for crank generators. 2 more for these. 2 more for those. So 2, 4, 8, 9 in a bunch, 12 in a bunch. So we need to make 12 in a bunch of these guys. Well, it's got 9. So what if I make 21? So 21 and 9, this will bring it out to 30. Lay it out nicely in rows of 5. And actually, I don't ever have to come back here again. Not until I have an upgrade. While those are making, let's fix up our hotbars again. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. This is going to be equipment. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 for equipment. 5, 6, 7, and 0 for this. We've got new inserters here, so 8 is the fast inserter. Now, on the upper bar, we're going to have machines. So, miner, smelter. We'll put the research on F10. Notice we've got a whole bunch of new intermediates that we need for the new things we can build. And there we go. Let's start laying these out, and just need enough to unlock the mule for now. Or the mole, not the mule.
Task inbound. Mole. Manipulates terrain for traversal and composition of industrial construction sites.
Okay, so craft a mole. We're going to put that on the 3 button. Don't know what's going to go on 4 yet. I'm sure there's going to be another piece of equipment. So we've got one. Oh, haha. No, we tried to craft one, but it's on the end of this. Let's cancel the crafting and craft a mole. Right like that. So yeah, I should have started building all that science. Use the mole to locate and inspect production terminal Victor. It's up this way. So there's the blank wall that we need to dig through. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my little science modules so that when we get to the headquarters, we can put our modules down at the headquarters. I think we're moving at this point. So we may not come back here for a while, and I would like it if I could keep all of my science cores in one place. Although there's no real reason to pick them up. And it's been, gosh, about long enough. Let's call this an episode here. I will come back ready to start digging. So, until we meet again, have a good time.